I love the guitars are awesome, aren't they? Like seriously,
Mega good.
mega good. Guitars. What?
Nothing.
Okay,
Hello?
fine. What?
Hello?
Hi. Here it comes. God, that's so good. I love it.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
It's just like Ricky Bobby. Just standing there, not knowing what to do with your hands, right?
That's right.
You just kind of hold them in the air.
It's been too long. I don't know what to do.
It has. You know how long it's been? It's been since October 12th.
What was the temperature on October 12th?
I don't know.
Colder than it is now.
Probably colder than it is today. Probably was. Yeah. You know what we're doing? We're back. We're talking winter with Swinter. Mm-hmm. I'm Ken Bogeman. We got Zack Brent, Brent Reeder, and here. You know what we're going to talk about?
Yeah, we're going to talk about it being really cold.
Really cold, which it's not today.
It's not at all.
It's not at all here.
It was cold this morning.
It was cold this morning.
It was cold this morning. I had to. What's the deal when you scrape the windows? That's what I was trying to get at.
Take you a minute to get there, did you?
It did. Yeah, and then I had to find my scraper.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where was it?
It was in the passenger floorboard. I don't know how I overlooked it, but
In it? Or on it?
No, just right there.
Just hanging out?
Yeah. Well, it's red, so it matches the interior of my truck.
Oh, so it's camouflage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Was it in the Tahoe or was that in the Chevy?
That's in the Chevy.
There you go.
The big old truck.
That's it. That's awesome. Yeah. So cold. Cold and snow is kind of a big deal. You know?
Yeah, it makes a lot of work.
Like, well, and you can't have snow unless it's cold.
Right.
But you can have snow when it's like super cold, and that presents a whole bunch of challenges.
Because then you can't get rid of it.
Right. Right. Don't melt none. It just shows up and gets all icy and slippery, and it doesn't want to melt, and everybody's cold,
Angry.
crabby.
Yep.
Yep. Everything takes longer, and you know what else happens? Everything breaks.
All of it.
All of it.
Everything.
Yep. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about it being really cold and snow. Because the warm storms are pretty cool, really. I mean, like it's, 30 degrees and snowing. It's cool. You kind of get out there, you get, a pair of shorts, and as long as it's not that windy, you're just,
Those are the late February storms where it's just barely cold enough.
Right. Do some plowing. The snow weighs 1 million pounds because it's half melted anyway by the time you get there.
Nice.
It's awesome. The cold ones, though, man, those are the ones that separate the pros from the not so pros.
Especially when the wind's going.
Yeah.
I noticed the wind was a big deal.
Yeah. Blowing and drifting snow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I think is fun is when it's going to be like ambient temperature of -2, -3, and it's wind chills -30, -40, and you look out there and there's there it is. It's the guy that has not done this before.
Yep.
And he's out there spreading salt pre-treating. He's like, oh, I'm gonna get ahead of this. Yeah.
Comes back 4 hours later to check on it.
Right. Yeah. So all right. So super cold stuff. I mean, I think that my first go-to is chemical on super cold storms. Cause you're, especially if you're in a more temperate climate. So you're more kind of in the southern Midwest, if you will, where you're down here, the southern part of Missouri over Kentucky and, some of the, southern parts of Indiana where you get cold, but the super cold storms aren't the norm. And you're used to, you pre-treat. You always pre-treat, right? Because you want to get that chemical down first to, prevent the, try to do what you can to help, make a little extra dough and, help the property look better. And, now you get a super cold storm and it's just kind of in your, your standard response is go out and pre-treat. Well, that's a giant problem when you have a super cold storm, and we completely saw that with a storm we had here a couple of weeks ago where a lot of contractors went out and pre-treated. And, when you pre-treat on a super cold storm, what happens is you may get a little melting at the onset, but that little bit of melting you get when the temperature drops below the effective range for the de-icing chemical, well, now that resulting brine freezes, and now you've created an ice skating rink that wouldn't have been there beforehand.
But what if you want an ice skating rink? You want to go ice skating? I mean,
then mission accomplished.
Open up a shop, charge tickets.
Well, you could certainly charge tickets. People fall down. It's more of a show, really. It's an entertainment thing. It's like, oh, look, that guy pre-treated. We got to go over there and sell tickets. People will be falling down all over the place.
$5 for skaters, $20 to watch.
That's right, but no skaters get skates.
That's right.
You get like Vans tennis shoes.
Oh, no.
No, you get a Chevy out there with a rope, and you hold onto the rope.
Why? So
do donuts.
Oh, see, now I'm in.
Donut. Are you driving the Chevy, or are you going to be the dude skiing?
I'll rent the Chevy to somebody.
Ooh, now you're talking.
Yeah.
You're going to need to get that waiver signed, though.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
Do you?
No.
You could.
I could.
You could. How you doing, Rich?
Doing good.
Yeah, all right. So from a liability perspective, right? So you say you've got a contract that requires you to pre-treat, and you've got regular old rock salt. It's going to be -5, and you go out and you pre-treat. And then the resulting ice that forms, that is on you. Even though you have a contract that requires you to pre-treat, the services you provided have created the ice that somebody slips and falls on. That's on you. So that's something to consider. Is you need to understand how your de-icing chemicals work, right? And understand when you can and can't use them, and understand what treated salt means. You know what treated salt is not? It is not when you fill your salt up in your hopper, and then you take a 5-gallon bucket and dump 5 gallons of calcium chloride on top of it.
What?
I know.
Unbelievable.
I know.
The guy told me it would work.
Some of it's treated.
Some of it's treated. It kind of is. Yeah. Yeah. We had a municipality that wanted to buy calcium from us for that very purpose.
To dump in the hopper?
To dump on the hopper. Well, they were going to use a spray bar and just kind of spray the top layer.
Oh.
Yeah. I talked to him about saddle tanks, then I sent him to you, actually.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So this is not something, if you're in a part of the country that doesn't get super cold all the time, it's entirely possible that you're just not familiar with, how those chemicals work and what those, pitfalls can be. So, understand if you're using bulk rock salt, once you get down below 15 degrees Fahrenheit, the salt is going to work, but it's going to work super, super slow. And it'll work down to, depending on how sunny it is, I'm going to say about 2-3 degrees. You will get melting. It'll take a long time. It'll work super slow, and it's going to be very, very fast to refreeze, but it will melt off. But you get down into those low single digits and below zero, the salt is absolutely not going to work. And if it does create a little bit of brine ahead of time, it is going to refreeze into ice. And then all the snow that might have blown off the parking lot or blown off the sidewalks, it now gets stuck in the wet, slushy nastiness that's left behind from your pre-treatment.
Yuck.
It's bad.
Not a fan.
Nope. And so then the very worst case scenario is when the storm starts and maybe it's kind of warm. Maybe the ground's kind of warm, right? So you get your ground temperatures are going to be, hovering right around freezing, maybe a little bit above. And then you're going to get, some rain that then maybe changes over to snow. If you get chemical down in that type of scenario, and you have a 1/4 inch of slush that's down on the ground before the temperatures drop out, that 1/4 inch of slush then freezes rock solid. Not only do you have solid ice, but you've got solid ice that has absolutely bonded itself to the surface, and you cannot remove that mechanically. It is almost impossible to do so. You have to do it chemically, and if the chemical that you have on hand is rock salt,
They ain't gonna work.
it ain't gonna work.
They ain't gonna work.
There's no way. This is gonna fail.
What do we need then?
Say what?
What do we need then?
You need either to just not put any chemical down at the onset.
Leave it alone.
And understand that a natural accumulation is a much better scenario for you in a lawsuit than an unnatural accumulation. Unnatural accumulation of ice being, you put the chemical down that caused it. Natural accumulation being it rained and then it froze. That natural is a problem. People are going to slip and fall, and that's bad, but it's not your fault because you did the wrong thing. Yep. Whereas if you do the wrong thing, that's bad. So if you only have salt, let it go. Wait until the storm is over, then apply your chemical, or get you some treated salt.
It works.
Yep.
There's a few properties we had that did use treated salt, and they were looking really sharp.
Yep. And if you don't have treated salt or the ability to warehouse treated salt, a really economical way of doing this that we found is to put saddle tanks on your spreaders and pre-wet systems so that you can actually spray the salt at the spinner as it comes out. So when you're broadcasting salt out of the back of your spreader, as the salt drops down out of the V-box and comes into the spinner, you're spraying it with a liquid calcium or with a liquid mag or whatever the liquid chemical is you want to use. That, to me, is the absolute very best way of doing it.
Cool.
Because now you don't have to stockpile super expensive treated salt and use it when you don't need it. You can pick and choose when you need that treatment. Bam, you have it there. It's ready to roll. And yeah, and we did that on several properties and it worked fantastic. And we've done that, in the handful of times we have storms that are really, really cold and we can use those pre-wet systems. And man, that really makes a big difference.
It's really a selling point in the fall or summer when you're talking to your customers about having that already in the contract.
Yep. Faux shows.
Because it definitely costs more to use too. So it's not like you're just going to use it as a 1-for-1 switch with straight rock salt.
Right. Yep. Right, Zach?
That's exactly right.
Yeah, you sure?
I think.
Is that right, Rich? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, he's still over there. Yep. Right on. Yeah. Yeah, man. So, yeah, look into that. So talk to your local dealer and sorry, getting over the plague. See what it would cost to add, have some saddle tanks added. And Zach, what does that mean ballpark? Is that a couple grand? Is that $1,000?
It's a couple grand. It's a couple grand to get the appropriate saddle tanks for your spreader, the piping, and the pump. So all in, a couple grand. Not really. I don't think that's a game changer.
No, I mean, and depending on the company size, if you've only got a couple V boxes, you're talking under $5,000 to be equipped for that. Mm-hmm. And then in terms of material storage, if you're going to use a straight liquid calcium, and which is a perfect treatment product, use just 32% calcium chloride liquid form. You get you a couple totes of it. That's probably enough to get you through an event. And a tote's $100 for a tote. Mm-hmm. You can shop the chemical around depending. The price is going to vary depending on what part of the country you're in and where it's coming from. But that makes it very, very quick and easy to treat your salt on demand when you need it without having to stockpile a whole pile of treated salt somewhere.
Definitely. And your properties are going to look better than the next guy over. So then they're going to be asking that guy who did their lot because it looks so good.
Yep. And don't be afraid to charge for it because in an event like that, to your point, when your property looks good and the neighbor's property doesn't look so hot, now you're talking. Mm-hmm. You're like, look, the saddle tank made it happen. I mean, that's the kind of thing where depending on, you may be able to pay for that tank, 2 storms out. Who knows?
Right.
Be kind of cool. Brandon, like you want to say something?
No. I'm agreeing with everything you're saying.
Yeah. Got that silent nod over there. Hey, Rich.
Hey, Ken.
Silent nod. There it is. So, yeah, man. So, anything else? So, what about, any other treated salt stuff or super cold chemical stuff?
We had a lot of, and I know we talked about this before, we had a lot of guys that I don't think they understand the importance of cleaning out your hopper. We had a guy, he actually, he turned his auger into a banana. Yeah. Sad banana.
I have not heard this.
A sad banana. Man.
Let's hear more. I have not heard this.
And this could go either way, however you want to look at it. But, guy has a spreader. He's treating properties. Doesn't hear anything, right? Sees it as spreading weird. Goes and looks, and there's a giant boulder of frozen salt at the end of the auger, and the auger is trying to push it through the hole, and it didn't work out well, and I guess it didn't trip the overcurrent on the motor, so the motor kept going, and it just mangled that auger.
Wow.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What kind of, okay, what, was that one of those plastic spreaders?
Yeah, it was plastic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow, must have had a lot of power.
It had some power, that's for sure.
Huh.
Plastic spreaders. They're like children's toys. Oh my gosh. We're going to have to talk more about cold stuff later because you know what we're doing now?
What are we doing now?
15-minute episodes.
Is this it?
That's it. We're at 14 minutes and a half a minute.
14 minutes and a half a minute.
14 minutes and 31 seconds. So that's it for this one because we're trying to make it easier for people to listen.
Yeah.
Here we are, talking winter with Swinner. Ken Bogeman, Zach Brent, Brent Reeder. Hi, Rich.
Hey, Ken.
There he is. So, all right. Well, we're gonna call this episode about did here, and we're gonna go back to I don't know what are we gonna call it? Episode 2, Part 2, Cold Storms, Part 2, on the next episode of Talking Winter with Swinner, coming to you right now. Yeehaw! I don't know, man. I got to come up with something.
Every time.
Yeehaw seemed like the right, it felt good right then at that moment.
You've just been watching Yellowstone, haven't you?
I haven't seen Yellowstone at all, but I did 1883, and now I'm caught up on 1923.
Need to watch
See, all the
Yellowstone.
Cowboys are coming out all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Tell you what Cowboys didn't have? Wait.
Electric guitars.
Reverb.
If they did it right.
No, Cowboys didn't have electric guitar with reverb.
I saw a post the other day. It said, you wear boots because you think it makes you look cool, and I wear boots because I don't know how to tie my shoes.
Man, there's some pretty cool boots in this office, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I think you guys have got cool boots.
He's got a little bit cooler boots, I think.
I was just noticing. Did you get a new pair?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. It was time to retire. Once they get, mechanics have that problem right at the toe. Your boots just go to crap and they expose the steel. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, get rid of those.
You know what? For years. So I still, to this day, have a pair of Red Wings that I bought 25 years ago, probably. Mm-hmm. Right. And the toe would come out because, carpenters, construction stuff. Right.
Yeah.
And I discovered that you could take it to the Red Wing store and they could put this like rubber coating on the toe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that rubber, I don't know what it was. It was like some like nuclear hardened, unbelievable, like space age sciencey epoxy crap because there was no getting through it. It was amazing.
Yeah. That's
awesome.
It's called Tough Toe.
Tough toe?
Tough Toe.
Tough toe.
Tough Toe.
Tough toe.
Pepto.
Pepto tough toe. Bismol.
Wow.
Yep.
Is that too much?
This is going off the rails. All right. You know what we are on? We are on part 2 of super cold snowstorms.
Mega cold.
Mega cold. Part 1, we talked about de-icing chemicals, and that was kind of boring. You know what? It was kind of boring.
Probably not to everybody.
Maybe not to everybody, but yeah, chemical stuff is kind of boring. Now, you know what we're going to talk about? Equipment. And the upside down, steely, freezy, cold banana. Your banana. What was that banana?
Sad banana.
The sad banana. I knew there's a banana joke in there. Shut up, Brent. It was funny. Hi, Rich.
Hey, kid.
Oh, you know what? I didn't introduce everybody. It's part 2. You think everybody knows?
Yeah, everybody was listening to part 1.
That's right, because they're
Especially
like,
Jeff.
Jeff?
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
Right on, ba. Appreciate you.
Ba?
Bruh.
Bruh or ba?
Bruv.
Bruv? Whatever. Man. Rich is like, really? This is what you guys do with your time? Seriously? It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, equipment. So, you've got the upside down, sad frozen banana,
Yeah, that was mega bad.
which is mega bad. You know what else is like super cold? And the people that, I need some weight in the truck. So, they throw some salt in the spreader and then they go to work and it turns into a block. Yeah. Kira, my daughter, was riding along during the last storm with me. And we were talking about that and about how, salt can get, super cold and it can actually freeze into a giant block. She says, well, how do you get it out of there? And I said, well, you kind of dig it out.
Right.
She's like, with a shovel? I was like, uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
She says,
If it's a shovel, you're lucky.
yes, this is true. Yeah,
Most
because
of the time it's a broomstick or something, whatever you can
Get a
find.
rock bar or something
gotta-
and start chiseling.
yeah, because you got to break it up to get it out of there, and it is bad, bad, bad. Yep.
Hopefully you got a shop where you can put a heater on it overnight and let it thaw out.
Right. Or, you just, dump a gallon of wash fluid on it.
Or 7.
Or 7 gallons of wash fluid.
One guy had to use 7 last storm.
Did it work?
I don't know.
I
I,
don't
didn't
think
hear
so.
from him again.
It will work very short term. And if you don't get it out, you have a bigger problem.
And now it's blue.
That kind of big blue rock.
I'm going to let that go. So, yeah. So, okay. So, seriously, equipment wise, I mean, when it's really, really cold, do not put salt in your spreaders, man, because it will freeze absolutely rock solid and you cannot get it out of there. So, that's real bad. Don't do that. Now, if you need weight in the back of the truck, man, I get that, but don't use salt. Find something else because dang.
And if you're talking extremely cold temperatures, it doesn't matter how much moisture is in that salt, it's going to freeze.
Yep.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Guys are like, oh, this salt's so wet. It's like, no, it's really not. It just sucked a little bit of moisture out of the air, and then you drove down the highway for 20 minutes,
Right.
and, well, science took over.
You know what I think is fun?
Science.
Science. That's what made it work. No, you know what I think is fun is how when like you get these you get the dudes that are like, no, I've got a poly spreader. It doesn't freeze as bad.
Right.
I don't know if I buy that.
It depends on which poly. The single walls, there's no difference.
Right. Oh, that's true.
If it's a double wall and it's got a lid, you bought yourself a little bit of time.
That's true. You know what I want you people to do? I want people to weigh in on this.
Oh,
Do the poly spreaders help salt prevent the salt from doing the preventing of the salt freeze on the poly spreaders?
salt freeze, not poly.
That's right.
All right.
Do
I'm going to weigh in.
COVID. Not really COVID.
I don't care. I'm all about the stainless.
You need to send
Fair.
an email with that response, please.
To podcast
At
swinnergroup.com.
come on, Rich. Hi, Rich.
Hey, how you doing, Zach?
Rich is learning, soaking it in.
He is.
So, and then when you're in cold, salt freezing in the hopper isn't the only thing that's a problem.
It's not.
It's not.
No.
Nope. You know what else happens?
What?
Everything else breaks.
All of it.
All of it. Everything breaks and it's bad.
On your poly hopper, just wait until your rock bar goes through the salt and then through the side of your spreader.
That's right. It's like
sucks.
Did that happen? Somebody do that?
I'm sure it can on the single walls. I've never had it happen to me personally, but I've had some steel spreaders that I was busting out, and I had some mega dents at the bottom when my bar went through.
That's true. Oh man, I bet that does happen.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'll find.
Zach's on it.
Snowplow Mafia is good for a lot of things, and I saw a guy post recently his treasure trove of, or his boneyard of salt spreaders. They were just all mangled and trashed. Just tons of them just laying there.
What?
And a lot of them had stories. You know they did.
Oh yeah.
It's
Using ratchet straps instead of chains, or
Who knows? They
what.
were just, and most of them were plastic, and they're physically destroyed.
Oh well, yeah, because plastic spreaders are,
Plastic.
garbage.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean literally. I mean, I know. Let's make a salt spreader out of the same thing my trash can's made out of. That sounds like a good idea.
Trash. My trash can's kind of tough.
That's a little loose with it, but yeah.
Maybe that's fair. That's fair. Although if it was up to me, I'd still a gas spreader because I'm old.
You just like what you
He
like.
said it.
I said it. That's right. But you know what? I'm cool though.
Right on.
Yep.
Right on.
Yep. You know what else happens when it's cold? I got to get off this me being cool thing because I can't really lie about that anymore.
10-4.
Yep. So hey, you don't have to agree quite that fast. Anyway, but no. Diesel gelling.
Ugh.
That is another great big problem.
Yes, it is.
Yep. So, and again, if you're in areas where it's super cold all the time, yes, we know you already know this, and we know that we're idiots for not always knowing that. But that is something that
I would say here in the Midwest, our average winter does not get into single digits, but maybe once.
lower Midwest. Yeah. I mean,
St.
you're
Louis
going to
specifically.
St. Louis and points
And
around.
so it's
there.
easy to forget those other points when you do get those extremely cold storms.
Yep.
I heard a myth the other day.
A myth?
And we should talk about it.
Do it. Bring it.
Guy called me and he said, well, it was my understanding that as long as the diesel's running, the fuel can't gel.
I've heard that as well.
And I
yeah.
did some poking around, and apparently it's like,
It's a thing.
it's a thing. It's an argument. People are like, well, mine can't gel because I'm driving and I'm running it.
And the idea there being is that the heat from the engine is going to keep things warm enough that it won't gel up.
Mm-hmm.
There's one very big flaw in that.
Yeah.
Your fuel rails, where they're exposed to the air, and your filters.
Yep.
Which is like the number one place it gels.
Those fuel rails are going to act like a chiller on a refrigerator, and it's going to freeze them up.
I mean, I just had a Roadhouse thing. You're the bouncers. I'm the cooler. The chiller is like the cooler. Never mind.
Oh, man.
What? Ladies and gentlemen, Wade Garrett. Sorry. Keep going. What?
You
Great movie.
You hijacked it.
I know. Everybody's like, man, I'm going to go home because it's going to be on tonight. If you got cable, Roadhouse is on tonight at some point.
Yeah.
I don't
more
have
likely. cable.
Who has cable anymore?
Nobody.
Not a single
That's
person.
why nobody watches Roadhouse anymore.
Like, is
I
it
watch
even still
Roadhouse.
around?
I bought it on Amazon.
Attaboy. It's the way to do it.
Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so yeah, fuel rails, diesel gelling. So
Yep.
and so here's a
still
question.
happen.
And here's a question that I was pondering as I was dumping my third bottle of diesel treatment into one of our loaders. I was like, I wonder if you can overdo the diesel fuel treatment. Can you put too much of that in there? I mean, it says it treats
I
up
think
to a
it
certain
takes
amount.
a lot.
Yeah.
The only adverse effect that I've ever seen by doing too much is failing fuel filters.
Well, you don't really need those things anyway.
No, I mean, who needs to allow fuel through?
You know, if you take them off, you get an extra horsepower or two.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Get rid
fair.
of those restrictions, man.
I got that fuel filter delete.
Fuel filter delete. You know what? I bet you could sell that.
Hey, they filter it at the pump. What do you need in your truck for?
Exactly. Forget about it.
Advice you should not take.
Right. Yep.
Right.
Yep. This show is for comedic purposes only. We don't expect anybody to actually listen to what we're talking about here. And
Well, actually, if you get bigger injectors, it allows those particles just to pass through, right out the exhaust.
sounds like a gallbladder.
Sounds like a giant injector nozzle.
A lot of smoke.
What? I don't know.
What kind of diesel are you running?
I don't know, but neither of those sounds came out right.
Nice.
Rim shot.
It's a good thing we do a lot of takes on this to put it all together.
No, we don't. We just go.
Everything's a one take.
One take. Here we go. This is it. This is a look straight into what it's like around this joint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Hi,
think-
Rich.
Hey,
I will say this. I think those rimmers can come from people. I think the trucks will vary on their issues with gelling. Some will be more exposed to it than others.
Yeah, I think that's.
If you have a flatbed truck or a long, crew cab long bed, you have a much higher chance of those rails freezing than someone with a smaller truck or maybe just a different design.
right.
So, but by and large, I would err on the side of caution and buy that little bit of additive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what, 15
It's
bucks?
it's not a lot of money compared to what you're making or what you could lose if you're stuck on the side of the road waiting for a tow truck.
Right. And and think about doing that. Not the day before it gets super cold,
Right.
because O'Reilly's and AutoZone and everybody else is going to be out of that stuff by the time you get there if you wait.
Because all the people who are going to stay home for the entire storm already bought it all.
Right. And they're at home not using it.
But their truck's plugged in.
Damn right it is. Looking pretty in the garage.
Worm.
What?
It's worm.
Worm?
Yeah, the truck's
Worm?
Yeah.
I think you just said worm. You know what? I bet you can do the worm, can't you? Like the dance where you like flop around on the ground?
No.
I bet you can.
No.
I used to be able to do that.
Yeah?
I could do the little handspring thing where you land on your back and pop up on your feet.
Yeah.
I've tried recently. I can't do it anymore.
Did you record it?
No.
Just sounds like a
Oh, man.
Did not record it. I got halfway every time. My kids were laughing. I was like, I swear I used to be able to do this. I just was a lot lighter.
Fair. Okay. I can see that. Man. Yep. Hi, Rich.
hey, Ken.
Man. All right. So what else happens when it's like super cold and equipment wise? I mean,
plow stops working if you didn't service the fluid.
this is true. Why is that?
I run ATF only. It always works.
Okay.
What? Dude. Okay. On the things not to listen to.
That is up.
In fact, hang on a second. What are you number 3? He's
Oh,
off.
you just cut him out.
I just turned him off.
I'm just getting a louder.
No more Fine, now you're back on. All right. No, that's very, very solid.
Yeah, that fluid breaks down and you really lose that. So, they all say like negative 50 or whatever, hydraulic oil, low temp, blah, blah, blah. You're going to start every, as it wears in, and that number's just going to get higher and higher and higher until it's going to get moisture in it and all that other stuff. So, yeah.
Condensation.
That'd be the one.
Yep. It's bad.
Pumps make condensations.
Yep. So you know what? You know what that kind of feeds right into?
A water break?
A water break on a hydraulic line?
Oh, no.
What?
Nothing. It's fine.
What do you need? What are you drinking? You got like Dr. Pepper going, don't you?
Dr. Pepper.
Sing the Dr. Pepper jingle.
I don't know it.
What? Does Dr. Pepper have a jingle?
I'm trying to remember it.
Now that I think about that, I don't know if Dr. Pepper has a
It
jingle.
always has the
Rich, does Dr. Pepper have a
23
jingle?
flavors or whatever.
Quite positive on that. I'm not sure if Dr. Pepper has a jingle.
I usually
I'm a
skip
Pepper
commercials.
TV commercial from the 70s.
Oh.
That's probably what you're thinking of.
I'm a Peppa, you a Peppa?
That's probably it.
Oh, no. Gosh.
Did we even
15 minutes is
anything
coming.
that time?
We did. We said, to recap? Yeah. Use diesel treatment and don't leave salt in your spreader.
Yeah, and service your plow
Yes.
annually.
Out of everything we said, those are the two.
That's it. That's what mattered. So, man, here we are. All right. Signing off. Talking Winter with Swinter. Ken Bogeman, Zach Frame, Brent Reeder, Rich Rao. Hi, Rich.
Hey, Ken.
There he is. Man. All right. Well, hey, thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Hopefully you like what you're listening to. We'd like to hear from you. Podcast at swintergroup.com. Yeah.
We need a Twitter.
We do. We need a Twitter.
I shoot birds.
Later, gang.